Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told how to voice the radio, and every video I make is exciting, right? I'm excited about all the videos I make. If I wasn't, I wouldn't bother making them. But today, ladies and gentlemen, this video is even more exciting because you know how I said the Vincent van Gogh Museum over in Amsterdam in the Netherlands is having a crossover with Pokémon? And you know how I told you I was sure they were going to do a promo card? Well, they're doing a promo card, ladies and gentlemen, and it is amazing. It's Pikachu with grey felt hat. And as a side note, the name of the card is Pikachu with grey felt hat, which, of course, is a play on the famous painting, Self-Portrait with Grey Felt Hat. Very snappily titled. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that we have got this coming, and it is real, and it is absolutely wonderful. And look, I know there have been many, many times where I have told you this is one of the coolest promo cards we've ever seen in the history of the Pokemon TCG, and every single time I've said it, I've absolutely meant it. Well, I'm saying it again today. This is one of the coolest promo cards we've ever seen in the history of the Pokemon TCG. This is absolutely ridiculous. And it's actually being done by Nao Kimura, who, I mean, look, they've been doing Pokemon TCG cards for a very, 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 very long time, going back to the time of Neo Genesis, back in the Gen 2 era, including, for instance, those Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres promos, which are iconic if you're a, fan of the game, historian of the game, phrase it how you will. More recently, you might recognize things like the Rowlet and Alolan Executor GX alternate art, or the Light Toxtricity that they did for celebrations. For me, personally, it's the Phanpy from Silver Tempest. I think the Phanpy from Silver Tempest is just... I'm a Phanpy fanboy anyway. But, oh my word, I think this is an absolutely redonkulously stunning card, and I love it. And this Pikachu is, again, in that just same tier of phenomenal cards. And this is going to be one that is going to be very, very, very sought after. Now, in terms of what it actually does, for one Lightning Energy, search your deck for a Pikachu and put it onto your bench. Then shuffle your deck. As a fun little side note, I'm pretty sure the name of this card is literally Pikachu with Grey Felt Hat, so you can't search for this. Now, we can look at things like Professor's Research Sada and Professor's Research Turo, but if you see the Professor Turo and the Professor Sada on those cards, they are very clearly off to the side and very obviously not part of the card name. And clearly the card designers have gone to a fair bit of effort here to make sure that you don't think that they are part of the card name. They haven't done this here. I mean, sure, with Grey Felt Hat is smaller, but that's a lot of text to get onto one line. So obviously they kind of had to fudge it a little bit there and make it a little bit smaller, and making the whole name smaller with Pikachu as well would have been weird. So I'm pretty sure the name of this card is literally Pikachu with Grey Felt Hat. It only searches for Pikachu, which means it cannot search for another Pikachu with Grey Felt Hat. Now, why you would want to, I'm not entirely sure, given that the only thing this does is search for another Pikachu, and you can kind of search them all out anyway. But if I am right about this being the name of the card, it is written a bit weird, but I think this is the ruling we're going to get. Then essentially you would be able to play 4 Pikachu and then one of these to search out those 4 Pikachu. No, it would not be able to get you a Pikachu EX, for instance, because again, the name of that is Pikachu EX. And obviously if we have a look at Pikachu EX, the EX is a different font to how it says Pikachu, but the EX is still very much the name of the card. So yeah, it's not a playable card, but honestly, the fact that it's not a playable card is a good thing. We don't want this to be a playable card, because if this is a playable card, then players are going to want 4 of them, in addition to all of the collectors actually trying to get these as well, and it's going to get stupid. But I told you previously about the Scream promos, those ones that were given out at that art exhibition in Japan a few years ago. The only other art museum exhibition promos we've had in the Pokemon TCG to date, and I told you that they are ridiculously expensive and hard to get. Some of you might be watching this video going, Wassy, come on, this is going to be ridiculous. What if I can't even get to Amsterdam to pick one of these up? Well, I have got wonderful, wonderful news. Pokemon are blatantly going out of their way here to make sure that this is not a particularly rare or hard to get card, which is awesome. As a side note, this is to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Van Gogh Museum, which is awesome, and it is, in an exhibition with a load of Pokemon artwork, which I can't show you in this video because I haven't seen it yet, but I will be showing you very, very shortly. I'm going to make a video all about it. It's going to be lovely. But there is a bunch of Pokemon stuff to do and a bunch of artwork at the museum that I will show you later. And it is interesting, there is a real connection between Van Gogh and Japan. There's a quote to his brother Theo in a letter in September 1888 where he said, "And we wouldn't be able to study Japanese art, it seems to me, without becoming much happier and more cheerful, and it makes us return to nature despite our education and our work in a world of convention." So yeah, big fan of Japanese art, evidently. So how are we actually going to get this promo? Wonderful news, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be very, very available. Now, one way to get this is obviously to come to the museum. But there is also going to be a range of Pokemon X Van Gogh Museum merchandise featuring art from the collaboration, which is going to be sold on the Pokemon Center online store. It is going to include a Vincent Van Gogh inspired Pikachu plush, and it's going to include trading card game sleeves and a bunch of other stuff. And here's where it gets great for all of us. A special promotional Pikachu with grey felt hat trading card, inspired by Vincent Van Gogh's self-portrait with grey felt hat, will be available as a gift with purchase item with all Pokemon Center X Van Gogh Museum products. Products and promotional trading cards are available while stocks last. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you buy this stuff, if you buy the Van Gogh crossover merch on the Pokemon Center, remember at the moment that is only the US, Canada, and the UK, you will get one of these promo cards. So yes, you can come to the museum, and might I suggest you should, it's going to be amazing. You don't have to come to the museum to get this promo card. Pokemon are clearly going out of their way to make sure that this is not a particularly expensive promo card or a promo card which is impossible to get. I know there are a bunch of scalpers and resellers who are on their way to the museum for opening day or thereabouts to try and get a bunch of these cards so that they can mark them up and sell them on for a profit. And the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful news is this card is being given out when you buy stuff on the Pokemon Center, and it cannot get particularly expensive, and I love it, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely love it. I think this is amazing. If I go onto eBay right now and look for screen promos, we see things like the Pikachu for £620 or the Rowlet for £140. The difference is that the Rowlet was given out at the Pokemon Center, so it's much cheaper. But this is not going to get anywhere near that, ladies and gentlemen. And I've had a bunch of people getting in touch with me saying, how's the promo card going to be given out? How can I get it? Bunch of you have got in touch saying, hey, Wassy, any chance you could hook us up with a promo? And the answer is, I don't need to. It is going to be readily available. Now, I know that that is only for people in the US, UK, and Canada. I know people in other territories obviously don't have access to the Pokemon Center, for which I can only apologize. I'm sorry, but that is the best I can tell you for the time being. This is still awesome, ladies and gentlemen. This is still awesome. As a side note, we are also told that the Van Gogh Museum shop will feature an exclusive range of Pokemon X Van Gogh Museum merchandise featuring art from the collaboration. I don't know exactly what that's going to include and to what extent it's going to be different from the stuff on the Pokemon Center online. If I get a better sense of that, I will of course let you know. For the time being, this video is about the promo card, and I've told you what it does, I've told you the art it comes from, I've told you about the artist, I've told you how it's being distributed. I think this is brilliant. I'm a fan, but I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.